Can you just elaborate on what that process was to transition from two existing providers on different continents to one unified?
Yeah, it was quite a simple transition. We've been using e-signature, more recognised branded products. I've got to be honest, without particularly naming them. One in North America and a different one in the UK. It was really just the right time to go out to market. Those two platforms had shifted on the way that they priced and moved from a per license application to issue price per issue. So it was really provoked by those changes, but probably the right time to go out to market. So we went out to tender. We looked at 4 options. A lot of the options ticked all the boxes, but more of the boxes were ticked when it came to our sign. It wasn't just a commercial decision. That was the driver, and that was one of the main benefits from a procurement perspective. But what enthused me a little bit more was the innovation, not only now, but the planned approaches. I think you're looking at another rollout of another platform. I think the products that we were using before had gone a little bit stale in their approach. And I was really, whenever I gave feedback, we've only been using our sign now for about 3 or 4 months. Whenever I've given feedback, it's always been quite receptive from our sign. It's like, yeah, that's great. Let me take that back to the developers and we'll look at potentially putting that out in the next rollout. So that's been quite encouraging, that you're not just looking at here and now, it's also trying to future-proof for further down the road.
Paul, just to follow up on that, when you're looking to scale, how important is feature rich and not just price and affordability, but the concept or the theme of the conference, feature rich with affordability at scale?
Yeah, I know the theme is more than a signature. We've originally used our e-signing platform principally for a signature on a client contract, but as of only 2 days ago, we're now rolling that out for compliance when it comes to onboarding our candidates. We're a major global recruitment partner, so we're moving this away from just using it with signing our client contracts to actually conducting quite extensive worker compliance. That is a lot more than just signing on the dotted line. There's a lot more involved, and I do find our sign is really simple. It's not just from a user perspective of what we're sending out, it's how it lands on that user who might not be familiar with e-signing at all, particularly when we're talking to candidates. They've never used a platform before, so having something that is dead easy to navigate and work through, particularly if you're looking beyond just that signature process, was really important to us. We've just trialed it on a candidate process. We have upwards of 125,000 workers out any 1 week, so getting compliance out there and done really quickly and comprehensively is really important to us.
And Paul, one last question. For now at least, when you looked at the RFP process, is there anything that you can share as tips for other companies that are looking to do an RFP? What was successful in that process, and what did you see? How did you make the distinctions? Because a lot of companies, they have a laundry list of features, and it all starts to blend in. What were some of the deciding factors in your RFP process?
Yeah, the main deciding factor, it was a procurement-led process, so cost was a key deciding factor. We were really keen to influence procurement and make sure that it wasn't just about a cost-saving exercise, that we didn't just have also a platform for now, that it was, as I mentioned, future-proof for the future. So we did have a shopping list. We made sure we went out to all the different brands within our group to ensure that all their requirements were met. They certainly were with our sign. I think it was less about just ticks and boxes. It was more around sort of a confidence in the system that we were going to move to. When you move from any platform, particularly moving from 2 to 1, different one, as it turned out, confidence was really quite key for us as well. Driving efficiencies, something that can really turn things around quickly, was obviously important, but having those little intricacies, adaptability with other systems as well. I think your conference will talk about how it can integrate with Outlook and Salesforce, for example, was key for us as well. So another, important that you go with your shopping list, but look beyond that as well. Yeah, I think from a central head office procurement point of view, their motivations was cost. From a user perspective, I've got no interest in direct cost savings. My time is where I wanted to save predominantly. It's also from a user experience point of view, it gives a really good impression that when we're talking to our candidates and clients, that we're not archaic in our approach, that we're very progressive. And when we're sending things out by electronic signature, the impression that it gives is a very proactive, developed, evolving organization, which we strive to be. So I think it helps if you've got an ambassador within the business that's used the e-signing process. I have for a number of years, and I champion the process, not our sign particularly. I do now, and have won over the people that were reluctant to make that change, who are now seeing that, oh my God, why did we do it in such an archaic way? So it's a case of sort of dipping your toe in the water, but then quickly diving in, and then you just don't look back. Very, very occasionally, I'll have a client that is a little bit reluctant, and I'll mirror what Nicole said there, particularly in Southern Europe, that might well say, oh no, we do wet copy signed signature. Very, very occasionally we will get someone who's very traditional in that route, and it just takes me back to a bygone age, really, of having to print out, courier, chase where it's at, have they got it. It takes me back 4 or 5 years, and it would be awful to work that way now. Now we're moving not only dealing with our clients in that way, but our candidates, and we're going to give such a great impression to our candidate base as well as our client base.